back to Duke Rehab Performance. We're going down this continuum of hip hinging progression. And one of the things we mentioned in the other videos, particularly with looking at the kettlebell deadlift, kettlebell swing, kettlebell snatch, is really making sure that all the positions look really good. So we want to kind of examine that a little bit further. So if I had Garrett here do his kettlebell deadlift, for example, we talked about making sure everything looks good. We're seeing that V shape, not so much of an L. And then he comes up in that top position. We want to see that nice neutral spine through here. Sometimes with people, when they can't stabilize through their abdominals, they'll try to lock out a joint. Generally, if you can get stability from one of two areas. You can either control motion with muscles, or you can lock out joints so that way they don't have to move. If he chooses to do that lockout motion, we're seeing this reverse C shape, and he's kind of feeling it in here, we may be thinking, okay, maybe he can't control it so much with his abdominals. And we can see the same thing when we kind of start to do swings. As he's doing his swing, when we get to that top position, we want to see that hyperextension in that low back. And then if he goes into kettlebell snatch, at that top position, we don't want to see that hyperextension again where he's kind of going through there. That was a great example on that one. So one of the ways we can kind of look at that a little further is we go to a rolling pattern. So we'll go ahead and clear this kettlebell out of the way. I'll have Garrett lay down on his back. So why rolling is important, because it really gets you a chance to see what right side of your abdominals can do versus left side of your abdominals can do. So what we have him do is we have one arm up and at the very top, really challenging that thoracic extension on that side. And then we're going to have his other leg, that's the opposite one, stay straight at first. So we got his right hand is up, we got his left leg down. He's going to put his elbow to knee together in this position. Some people, if you look at this if he was actually on his knee, some people will look at this as kind of a bird dog exercise. It's kind of another transition out of this one. So we got that good contact maintained through here. That locks up his big old rectus muscle and his abdominals. Now the only thing he can use are those lower abdominals, more the obliques, transverse abdominis. Those muscles are deeply and connected with the neck flexors. So when he does this motion, he has to lead with his head first. So he's going to turn the direction he wants to go. Notice how everything stays nice and straight. The only thing that's moving is his head. So he's going to turn back. And then we're getting that nice abdominals turning over here. Let's go ahead and relax for a second. Let's say he was having a little bit of trouble doing that. We can make it a little bit easier for him. We can give him some input. So one thing you can have people do is you have them put a ball between their knee and the elbow. So there's a little less demand range of motion wise, and my cue is really squeeze this thing together. That's going to lock up that rectus more and really make him work those deeper muscles. And now he does the same rotation, leading with his head and then coming back. And you can see how much easier that was for him. You didn't see that leg pop up and things of that nature. The next progression out of that was opposite arm and leg. Now we're going to do same side on this one, because you can really see how it looks, what it looks like. So this time we're going to go, his left arm is up, left leg is down. We're going to go rights are together. And he's going to roll towards the arm that's overhead, using his head to get to the floor. Keep turning that head, looking good. And now he's got to come back. Good. So same kind of things here. If you're seeing that they're having a little bit of trouble, you can give them a little bit of help by having them have that extra input of really driving into that ball, following his head, because that's the part that's going to lead the motion. Excellent. And let's say Garrett could get all the way over, but he couldn't get back. Well, one thing we could do is just kind of give him a little bit of help. So I'm going to have him get that position one more time. And then I want him to roll over so that his knee touches the ball. Good. And now he's going to turn his head to go the other direction, so we can really work that. We're really working that SAID principle here, that specific adaptation to imposed demands. If we try to make this exercise too difficult, he'll never learn how to do it and he'll get pretty frustrated. If we make it too easy, his body never has to adapt. So I want him to be struggling through these exercises, but he's challenged, yet he's still successful.